of the blockade. And they say we don't want to let materials for reconstruction to enter Gaza because it can be used to make bombs. And such outrage and ridiculous statement passes because any material can be used to make bombs. Matches, needles, pins, concrete, rocks. What's left? Any medicine, fertilizer. So what they are saying is we'll starve those people to death or to surrender. Under that disguise, under that framing of material that can be used to make weapons to be used by terrorists. Doesn't seem to be bothering the official world a lot, but it bothered some decent human beings. And so those decent human beings got together and said, we cannot sit idle like that. Let us take food and the medicine and makeshift houses and things to go to those people, no matter what the consequences are. And there were several trials because this flotilla. The last one, 500 activists who are civilians, all of them, not a single military person. One of them is a Holocaust survivor, a Jew. One of them or two are bishops, Christian bishops. And Muslims, Jews, Christians, old and young, men and women. In other words, a sample of humanity. This is not a group of people of religion. This is a sample of civilized humanity. Decided to do what civilized human beings should do. So they take on sea in peace to go to offer the help. And they said we cannot live with clear conscience with this tragedy going on. In the middle of the night and in international water, in high sea, in a water that does not belong to any specific nation, they were attacked by special forces. Those are the commandos. And the helicopters, and the guns. More than 10 were killed, more than 50 or 100 were wounded, and the rest of them were detained, deported, interrogated, insulted, humiliated, and then their Majesty, the government of Israel, decided to release them in a group after a group after a group, and we don't know really the real numbers, we don't know what's happening. But this is very important in the framing. You are celebrating that you released people that you shouldn't have in prison in the first place. But the world swallowed this false logic. And it is very humiliating. I personally don't know how to take it if Israel captures me and said, congratulations, we are going to release you. So this is exactly what happened. Then we look into the reaction to that event. And the reaction actually is more maddening than the event itself. And I will not, the time will not allow me to go into the details of the reaction, as we have been monitoring them closely. But I'll divide them into the reaction of governments. And I wanted to say loud and clear that the only government that deserves honor and respect is the Turkish government. Those who have been with me for 30 years or more in this place, I never praised a government. Simply because I didn't find a government that deserves to be praised. But the stand of the Turkish government now ought to be celebrated and respected and thanked and acknowledged. The Arab governments, I have no comment because the language I can use is not suitable for a Friday prayer. The most deserving of blame government is the government of the United States of America. Because, number one, America squeezed the Security Council to delete two important words. Condemn, it was replaced by we feel sorry for, and deleted the word independent investigating the body. It was replaced by the word transparent investigation. In other words, Israel should investigate the event. In other words, Al Capone should investigate the mafia. This is exactly what it is. We are the only ones who can say that. So don't underestimate the value of your voice to America now. Otherwise, it will be stark, dark, and completely bleak. The government of Israel came with unbelievable statements from Mr. Netanyahu, saying that once more, Israel has to deal with the hypocrisy of the world, which is actually once more the world has to put up with the arrogance and the hypocrisy of Israel. Our government in America that collects tax from me and you is still financing a criminal regime that violates every American value we Americans believe in. And we have to speak our mind to our government and say, Mr. Obama, don't let the light that was raised by your election be extinguished by a rogue state. And it is a moment of history that is important. America have to make a tough choice to be the bodyguard of Israel or the leader of the civilized world. They have to hear that voice from us. Number two, explain. Explain it to everybody you can reach. Explain it to your congressman, explain it to your local paper, explain it to your neighbor, explain it everywhere you can reach. Number three, refute. So understand, explain, and refute. We have to refute the arguments that the propaganda machine is throwing into the American market now. A huge propaganda machine that are trying to make it equivalent. Those also, they also had pipes on the ship and were hitting the soldiers with a pipe. A paratrooper, special force, soldier who is agitated by a pipe or a stick, and you are talking to me about the mightiness of the Israeli forces and sparing the whole world? We have to refute that. And we have to insist that I will not say that you are a liar. I say, let us have independent investigation. If those, they say the ship was full by terrorists and weapons. Let us have independent investigation. The truth shall set you free, as the Bible says. Let us know the truth. Have independent investigation, not an investigation by the state of Israel. On your way out, there will be a list of telephone numbers